Hey violins, this is a rundown of Lightly Row for you, and just to walk through some of the fundamental techniques that will actually take place in this folk song and stuff that's really important that you end up carrying with you for the rest of your violin and really string journey that you do. So in the melody, there are two really fundamental things that are going on in terms of just regular melodic shaping. One, you have a scale-like formation, and two, you have an arpeggiating formation in the actual melody. And if you skip all the way to measure 7, which in your music, and we're in the key of D, you're going to play a D major arpeggio. And what an arpeggio is really is you're spelling out a chord that you would hear on piano or guitar, where multiple notes are played simultaneously. What the arpeggio does is it actually takes that chord and spells it out individually. So for the D major arpeggio, you play an open D and put that high 2 down for F sharp, and then rock the bow over for that open A. And it's really important to play open A for this particular tune. I know we've learned how to actually close the A on the D string with 4th finger, and normally I'm very adamant about staying on one string if at all possible. But for this song, it's really important to have that open string sound. It's a really beautiful texture, and it's also really important to learn the string crossings aspect of this tune with the open string. So I would, like I said, measure 7. I would practice that. I'd break that arpeggio down, keep that F sharp planted, open A, because the very next measure, measure 8, you come back to F sharp. So I just rock the bow over, and I don't worry about my left hand. My left hand is already just sort of planted and stuck on that F sharp. Once I get measure 7 and measure 8 down, I'm going to actually go up to the first line and look at my scale formation, which is actually measure 3 and measure 4, or really measure 3 leading into measure 4. And what's cool about this measure is it actually introduces all the notes for the melody. Measure 3 has D, E, F sharp, and G, and then the last note in the next measure, so the last note introduced will be the next measure, measure 4, we have that A. And so those are the 5 notes that we'll actually need to play this entire melody. And you can scan the melody and take a look at it right now, and you'll see that this melody is comprised of just those 5 notes. So really cool stuff is happening in there. So for that scale formation, it's going to be very basic. We go open, and then first finger E, second finger F sharp, third finger G is going to be right next to that F sharp. They're going to be buddies. And I mean very close, to the point that it's that sort of uncomfortable buddy that sits very close to you and doesn't give you a whole lot of personal space when you're having lunch. That's what F sharp and G are doing right there. So you can break it apart, take it note by note, F sharp, G, rock the bow over for open A. Get those 2 measures down, you could hear me, I was playing F sharp a little bit there, but really important to get those measures down, measure 3, measure 4, and also measure 7 and measure 8. And so when you actually take a look at the music, that really covers a lot of what's going on. The last thing, the very first measure, is what really opens up the tune. And I've told a lot of students that, to me, this is the most important measure, because what it does is it teaches us to actually have our left hand down on one string, which I've already addressed in the arpeggio, and our bow is on a different string. It's on the open A, while our left hand is on the D string. And it's really important to have nice, tall, arched fingers, as you can see right there. So my fingers are like a wave coming over the fingerboard, and they're not, it looks like they're touching, but they're actually not touching the open A. And the reason being is it allows the string crossing from the A string to the D string to be a lot smoother. So practice that first measure by itself, and when you take a look at it, measure 1 and measure 2 come back in a similar form in measure 5 and 6, as well as, let's see, that's 12, 13, and 14. So have the bow on the open A, F sharp is planted on the D string, and we go, rock that bow over. Get a nice smooth connection. The cool thing is now that my F sharp is set in measure 2, I just set that third finger down for G, and I'm ready to play the second measure, G, E, E, where I lift those 2 fingers up for that first finger, E. Measure 2 sounds like this. It actually starts on an up bow, my mistake. So when we have that all set down, measure 1, measure 2, measure 3, measure 4, and really 7 and 8, when we have those, take a look at the rest of the music, and you should be able to read your way through this particular melody. I'm going to go ahead and actually play through it so that you actually understand what it sounds like and what it kind of looks like. And then from there, it's up to you to practice it effectively and really efficiently to put the whole tune together. So here's the beginning, and I'll give a count off. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you have Lightly Row. So hopefully this video is very helpful for you and gives you an idea of how to really start your practice so that you can actually work out the technique issues that are in it and that you can approach them with a sense of ease and putting them together so that when you actually play the whole thing, it's something that is very beautiful and simple, but at the same time elegant. So as always, happy practicing and good luck.